I am with Brenda on this side and Monica on this side, and we are talking today about surrogacy. They both 3 times each?
I only did
2. Okay. So they've both done this more than once. And so we're here to help you guys. If you are thinking maybe you want to do it, or maybe you need it to have a surrogate mom, we're going to talk about everything. So I hope we answer your questions, and we're doing this to help you. That's the only reason we're here, is to help you guys. Okay, so I do have a few questions, but I think you guys are very prepared to talk about what's going on in your own, but I want to make sure okay. I don't know how to make the stinking thing not turn. Okay, anyways, does anyone want to start talking about anything yet, or no? Like anything that comes to your mind, or no? That's okay, because I can ask questions too. I'm just
maybe ask a couple questions. We can
okay.
Jump from there.
Not a problem. Here we go. Okay, here they are. Okay. All right. When did you first hear about surrogacy? Am I saying the word right? Surrogacy?
Yes.
Okay. And what made you interested in it? Like, what was your first why? What made you decide you wanted to do this?
I had heard about it, probably like a movie or something forever ago, and then kind of heard about it like in my earlier 20s, just from hearing people. It was definitely not on my radar of even having a baby because I hadn't had my own yet. So that got tabled for years and years.
But it was something that you thought of, though.
Like, I'd heard it and I was like, well, that sounds interesting. And then, after having my own child, and I was like, wow, somebody does this for other people. That's really cool. And then back in my mind for 10 years at least, living on base, there's not a lot of things for the wives to do if you don't have like a certain career. So I had a lot of friends that were doing surrogacy on when we lived out in base. So asking them more questions. I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. And then nothing went from that.
I don't know if that's on actually. On the bottom, on the back of the bottom, let me see yours. Oh gosh. I'm doing so good today. Yours is on. There's a bottom. You see it? There, it's on. It's on. I see it beeping. All right, we're good. So hopefully that you can hear us. If not, yeah.
So then maybe I had like 2 or 3 friends that did surrogacy. Oh, that's so cool. You guys are so awesome. And then like a year later, there was a couple that we were really good friends with, and she had been pregnant, but she unfortunately lost the baby at about 20-ish weeks, and we kept their older daughter, like in the hospital and like bringing her to see them and everything. And for whatever reason, just in my mind, I was like, I really wish we could do something more for them, besides watching the baby and getting a meal train set up. And for whatever reason, like that, hearing the word again or whatever, I was like, not necessarily for them, but just like, I think I could.
Yeah.
I think I could do that. And so then I talked to my husband, and I'm like, I'm thinking of surrogacy, and he's like, okay, what is it? And we kind of went over it, and he's like, yeah, that sounds cool. Okay, cool. So I went online and did some research and signed up with an agency that I did not realize was on the East Coast.
Oh.
Well, but it worked out great because they were like, oh, we'd love to have you. We did the whole spiel of all the people, all the things.
It is a long process, and I don't think people understand that.
No, it's psyche valve.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Not just me. My husband had to do a psyche valve too because obviously he lives with me. They want to make sure.
Any adults in the home.
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure you're safe at home as well. But yeah, like the stacks of medical records, you need all of the medical records. Everything from every birth you've had your own, every one of them.
How do you get those? You just have to call the hospitals that you had your kids at?
And hope like they're still there.
Oh.
My doctor's office is closed, and I didn't know that, so I had to track them down. luckily it was all, I gave birth at the same hospital,
Uh-huh.
luckily. So they were able to like get some information. Thank goodness.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. You don't just like, hey, I'm gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much paperwork.
And there's
involved.
requirements too, like
Yes.
how you said I had to have my own child. That is
Correct.
a requirement
Yes.
that you have
Oh.
to have.
Not
You
just
have
your
to
own
have your
child,
own children.
You have to be raising at least your own child, or have raised it, depending on your.
Yes.
Do you know if you guys use the same? No, you didn't. You didn't use the same
No.
place because yours is
No.
on the East
Mine's
Coast.
East Coast.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you find?
I
Just
literally
Google?
typed in surrogate.
Okay.
And now there's so many different
Oh
agencies.
my gosh,
You
is.
have so many different options.
But
Okay.
you have to.
Do your homework.
Uh-huh.
Yes, 100%. Because there's some that pop up overnight, and they really aren't looking out for you or the intended parents, the intended parents. They're just in it for the money. So you really need to do your own research, like a lot, and look into their background. Google reviews. Honestly, people write reviews about their surrogacy.
That makes sense.
Yes, they do.
Just like any other business or company.
Isn't that crazy?
Make sure they're not just in it for the money.
Yeah.
They legitimately care about you. Like,
well, that's nice to
was
know.
Amazing, and they like checked on me constantly. So it felt like they actually care.
It turns into a
Yes.
family.
That's really nice.
Absolutely. Yes.
What made you want to decide to be a surrogate?
I was a young mom,
Mhm.
so I had 2 children of my own, and like she said, I had a story come to me of a parent trying and trying, and this mom had multiple surgeries trying to fix herself to be able to carry her own child, and I couldn't imagine my life without my children.
Sure.
And to be able to give that to somebody, it's you
huge.
say it's a blessing, you say it's huge, it's amazing. You really can't put it into words.
I bet not.
Being able to give them what you already had.
Yeah.
So I just said, I'm grateful to be healthy and have very easy pregnancies.
Amen. Yeah.
Have them to the full term and everything, no complications. And I said, let's try the process and see if they will select me because, like she said, it's evaluations and not just psych, but physical. And they're checking you from your head to your toe to make sure you can carry this baby healthy. They had people come to my house and make sure my house was proper and in order, and I had heat and water and food in the fridge.
Wow, my mouth is
all about that.
They check everything. Like, this is not just, oh, I'm gonna go be pregnant and have a baby for somebody. They go through everything, and it's a process.
Interesting.
And to be able to do that for somebody else is just amazing.
Yeah.
And once you've done it once, you can't put into words how you feel being able to give them their baby, their 2 babies. I was blessed to carry twins for somebody. And I created their family. I helped them create their family.
Absolutely.
There's different types of surrogacy. You can use your egg, and they will compensate you for that. Or you can just be the gestational carrier, which is having mom and dad's embryo inserted in you. And so it's really up to you on what you decide to do. I am just grateful that I was able to do this and be able to create a couple of different families.
Huge.
Yes, exactly. I had two separate families, so I helped make 2 separate.
Yes.
You have to feel good about yourself. I mean, that's. I don't mean like, oh,
no, I know.
I did this,
and
but I
people
mean.
say that, and then I just smile. Because like
you don't think any different. It's not. I get a pat on the back.
Yeah.
It's not.
I
get
had the last baby. I had the grandma. She was so excited to be called grandma. Like, she was like thanking me. I was like, oh, no big deal, because like that just like popped out of my head. And she looked at me. She's like, what do you mean? No big deal. Do you know what you just did? I was like,
when you put it in perspective, you're just
Yeah.
like
You literally changed their entire
I was just
life.
like,
their
oh,
entire
yeah,
life.
Yeah. She's like, what? I didn't,
Oh, that's so
I
sweet.
was like,
Yes.
I didn't think of it that bigly. And she was like, you changed our lives. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, did you girls obviously talk to your family beforehand, but like your kids, what did your kids say when you said like, I'm going to do this, I want to do this,
So that
you
was
know?
fun. That was cool because my youngest was 4 when we started. So that was
Yeah,
fun.
right.
You know, Seth, he's just a character all on
Oh,
his own.
yes.
My oldest was like, ugh, I want to be pregnant. Because he had seen me pregnant with
The other two.
his brother and sister, and I was like, oh man, I'm not keeping this one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And then he was done. He was ready to go. And then my daughter, she was like, he was 4, so then she was 8. She's like, I get a new brother or sister. I'm like,
No. This is not about you guys. Yeah.
I gotta think about explaining this
Mhm.
to them.
Yes.
So we had to sit her and then the little one down and we talked to them like, okay, so Miss Laura's tummy is broken. So they're gonna put her baby in my tummy, and then I'm gonna grow the baby big and strong, and then when the baby's born, baby's gonna go back to Miss Laura and she's gonna raise the baby because my tummy's not
her
broken.
baby.
Right.
And so like
That
my
is
daughter
such a
was
cool.
like, okay. So she was a little disappointed she couldn't do a sister thing. And then my little guy, like he just ran with that and he told everybody
Yes.
that he encountered. My mommy's got a baby in her tummy, but it's not hers.
And we're giving it away.
Aw.
We were doing Zoom kindergarten.
Oh.
I had to explain to a Zoom room full of 5-year-olds. I was like, oh, sorry, teacher. But after we explained, he's like, that's so cool. And like,
Yeah.
he didn't want to dwell on it too much because the 5-year-olds. But like later, he was like, wow, that's really cool. Good for you guys.
That's cool. And how old were your kiddos when you first did it?
The first time they were about the same age, and and we pretty much explained it to them the same way she did.
Yeah. Open and honest with
Oh yeah.
We're not keeping this. This is because we're trying to help
Mhm.
somebody, and they were okay with it. It didn't really bother them. The younger, now that my kids are grown, and they were just like, come on mom, like it was a little bit harder for them to see me slow down a little bit because I'm more tired. I don't want to go to Disneyland with you every other weekend. But they know like my mom's helping somebody else. We're not keeping this. We're being a blessing to somebody else.
I love it.
They didn't have much to say about it.
Really?
Even though they're older now and they are much more opinionated.
Oh, yes, they are. I'm sure of that. I have a 16 and 17-year-old. I get that. And yours are a little bit older than mine. So you've got one older than mine. Yes. Okay. So your decisions weren't financial, although that was a benefit, right? I mean, that was a benefit.
Like fun little added bonus there. But going into it, I was like, I can help make a family. Cool. So
that's what it was. It wasn't about finances.
No.
Not
for me.
Yeah.
I feel like both. We're helping them and they're helping us.
For sure. Yeah.
So whatever the situation is, that like she said, it's just extra because it's not like we're living off of somebody else.
Right.
We're still working. We're still living our lives. And this is just contributing to whatever.
Gotcha. Interesting. How did you the intended parents? None of you knew them prior. You met them through the agency. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine, oddly enough, both happen to be from New Jersey. Just
both of them.
South. And
Interesting.
North, so they don't even know each other. I was like, how did I do that?
That's surprising because my first journey, they were from San Francisco, and I had a set of twins. We flew up there. We met the parents and
did they pay for the flights and stuff?
The agency will take care of everything. You don't have to worry about anything.
That's great.
Everything. If you want to bring somebody with you, that's compensated and taken care of.
Oh, really?
And the hotel stays, whatever it is that you may need.
If your littles are little.
Yeah.
And you have to pay for extra childcare while you're gone or whatever. That's
They
complicated also.
even things like you don't think about bed rests. If you cannot get up to clean your own house, they will compensate you for housekeeping.
That is incredible.
Some I've heard a few of my girls in the agency
Mhm.
group would say that they would even get food deliveries to their house. Like
Yeah,
mom
like
would,
if you couldn't
yeah,
go grocery shopping. Yeah.
they would have everything delivered to their house, so they didn't have to leave.
That's incredible.
For the transfer, because you have to have somebody go with you. So like if my husband had to take off work
Mhm.
to go with me for the transfer, he would get his wages compensated for the certain amount of days.
That's incredible. And this is all paid. Okay, so for the parents that want to have a baby, right? And you guys are caring for them. Are they paying this out of their pocket? They are. Or do they have, or does like the agency have like a lump sum of money from them
Yes.
and they use that
They
money?
have what is it called? Like a escrow.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Yes, that's what
That
it
they
is.
have to put a certain amount to start.
Okay.
And then
It's not allowed to go under a certain amount.
Correct.
Okay.
In
And
case
then
you
they
get medical
fill it.
bills or anything,
Mhm.
it starts going. They and the agency will take care of
Yes,
all of
so
that.
There's no worry.
You don't mentally
No.
have to worry about
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Because having a baby is hard enough.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right?
And then raising your own family.
Yes.
And then trying to do bill stuff. No.
Yeah. I love that. I
Yes,
love
the
that.
agency, if you have a good agency, that's why you need to look into
Right.
that and
Mhm.
make sure you're covered.
Right.
That
Okay.
they're doing it the right way.
I love this. Okay. Very interesting.
Insurance,
Okay.
they
Okay.
have to
Provide it.
provide your own private insurance for you, and they cover all of that. Also,
That's amazing. So it is not cheap
No.
to do this. No.
And I don't even know all the ins and outs of what the intended parents have to go through. I don't know all the things.
Mhm.
They have way more hoops than we have.
Yes. Because they have to even find the IVF doctors and pay them, and it's not cheap at all.
And
It's
insurance doesn't
very-
pay for this, correct? Well, California.
depending on
Okay.
your insurance.
Okay.
Depending.
And I do know a lot of insurances, coming into the new age, thank goodness that they're gonna
start paying for it.
covering
That's-
part of
That's great.
IVF stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be wonderful for those parents.
For
But
sure.
a lot of them, especially in the past,
Have
didn't
not.
cover a darn thing.
No.
So this is literally out of their pocket.
Yes.
Like, I want to ask, like, I don't want you to tell me how much you made, but is it like,
And every state is different on what your base pay is.
I would say it starts maybe possibly from 40,000 and
and
up.
up?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then if you carry multiples,
Then you get more.
Everything
Obviously, you're having
has-
two
yeah.
kids.
if you've done it more
Experience.
than once,
You
Oh.
have.
it
Yeah.
gets increased the more you do it.
Really?
For experience. They,
Mhm.
Yes.
they know
You know the
you
ins and
can
outs.
do
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
You're already half the work is already done, kind of, because
Yes.
all those things. It's already
Mm.
been
That's
done.
nice. Okay.
So,
So it actually
yeah.
costs them less when you've done it before because there's not so much paperwork involved.
For the agency, it costs
Yes.
the new intended parents more because you're more
Oh,
experienced.
okay.
So.
Okay.
But then you're more experienced for those intended parents. So I feel like
No, it's a win-win to me.
Yeah.
You know, you got to,
For
yeah.
sure.
I would think that's a good, yeah.
Yes.
Did you guys have any medical, okay. So once you do all your tests and stuff and they call you and say, okay, you're qualified,
Clear.
approved, clear. Okay,
Mhm.
clear.
Yep.
So once you're clear, walk me through that.
That's when the fun begins.
Yeah.
You have to start your IVF medication.
Okay.
So you have to give yourself multiple injections.
Okay.
And every fertility doctor
Is
is
different.
different, and they have their own protocols
Okay.
for each patient
Mhm.
also.
Mhm.
So yeah, there
Okay.
are lots of needles.
So you've got, I remember you
Yeah.
doing the shots. Okay, I
Yeah.
remember that. And you had to do the same.
Yes.
Did you
Different
guys
types
have
of
reactions
shots,
to
too.
shots? Like in a bad way at all? Was there any negative?
When I first started doing the estrogen shots, the hormone, the extra, because
You were hot, is that right?
I was all the things.
Yeah.
I was all the things, but
Yeah.
emotional,
Mhm.
extra, because I'm not normally very emotional, like cry just because I'm not like that
Right.
normally.
Right.
Oh man, my poor family.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't find my pillow one day and started crying. What?
I get that.
So I feel like that is a reaction to the medication.
Oh, for sure.
Luckily, it wasn't like a bad one.
Right.
It did start to calm down.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yes, but then you end up pregnant, and that's a whole nother
I know.
round.
I've done it twice, but just
Yes.
mine and naturally. But yeah, it's not easy.
The progesterone shots in the tush. If you
Do it wrong.
Mm-hmm. It's bad, huh?
Oh, it hurts. So,
Pain.
I mean, it hurts just to start with because it's a huge needle, and
Oh, it is.
it was 18 gauge needle, and progesterone and oil is what I had. That's usually
thicker.
the norm. So it's thick.
Oh,
And you feel every drop of that. So my nurse drew circles on the tush.
Where to put them.
Okay, get in this area.
Oh.
And even in that area, if it's not the right,
Did you inject yourself or did some?
Oh gosh,
yes.
You did.
I did not.
Wow.
My husband would not do it for me.
My husband had no
So
problem.
I had
come here.
I had to do it myself.
Oh,
and
that must have been
there's
hard.
sometimes that you did it wrong and there's blood squirting everywhere.
Yeah. Or I had pain shooting down from like the top of my butt to the back of my knee one time. I'm like, oh good. I'm gonna lay here.
How long do you have to prepare before you get the embryo? Is that okay?
My first transfer, I think it was 4 weeks.
I think it does depend on the IVF doctor, like she said also.
Yes.
How long did you do it?
I think my first one was roughly about 4 weeks from the first
injection,
little tiny estrogen shot, which after doing the progesterone, the estrogen was like nothing. I was like, I don't even feel that.
Right.
Till the transfer. And then it was another 10 weeks.
After the transfer, you still have to do the medication.
Every day.
10 weeks of shots. Shots. Always shots?
Yes.
Mine were shots.
Always.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they want to make, because they're basically tricking your body into thinking it's pregnant.
Okay.
Before they put the embryo in.
Okay.
So then you
so it holds on and
to make sure it sticks.
Okay. Interesting. I had no idea about this at all. So I'm really thankful you guys are. I mean, I'm not doing it, but I really like to know. I mean, it's interesting. And man, it's a lot more than I thought it was, honestly.
Oh, yes. 100%. 100%.
Yes.
So 4 weeks of shots, then you might get the embryo.
I had pills and shots. I had estrogen shots and then pills also because they want to make sure everything's good and thick. But the only time you want to hear that you're thick when you're older,
right?
As a woman,
yes,
that's the only time you want to hear you're thick because they want to make sure your lining is thick before they put the embryo. So
it's all padded and comfy in there. Okay.
Exactly. And then the progesterone shots, and then right before the transfer, I had to do antibiotics just in case, because obviously they're inserting something. They want to make sure
you don't get an infection or nothing
or anything like that. And you take a couple after that, and then
that's
more
a lot.
shots because I flew to Connecticut for my last transfer.
I remember.
So I was literally doing shots in the airport. Because you have a schedule, and they don't want
every day on same time,
and maybe a minute or two, but don't go far outside that window. So my watch, my timer is set. So literally, I was doing a shot they're boarding, and I was like, crap! I'm over in the corner with my mother-in-law. She's stabbing me in the butt because I'm I can't get on this plane yet because then it's going to be 10, 15, 20. I don't even know. I'm I got to do this in the airport. Oh well.
Yeah. God bless you.
They do have sharp containers in the airports, though.
They do.
Yes.
Well, I guess people have to take insulin and stuff. Yeah, right.
While you're doing
exactly.
I bet.
Yes.
Interesting. At the airport, they have things for the needles.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the bathrooms.
So that was helpful too.
Interesting.
Yeah, people are going to see my butt. I don't care.
Yeah, right.
I've got to get this done. Literally, at that point, you've been poked and prodded
so many times.
So many people, and you're like, I don't even.
It's not a big deal.
That's so cute. I love it.
There's so many nurses and different doctors that have to check all of the things.
Yeah.
So you're like, whatever. Come on
in.
Yeah. I think this is the hard part that people don't understand or they don't talk about it.
Well, that's why we're doing
But
this.
this is a very big part of it, because I know some ladies that they wanted the shots to continue even after they were pregnant, like she said, for quite some time after, just to make sure the numbers of everything were where they needed to be. And it's like, you don't intend to stick yourself when you're talking about, I want to help somebody else, I want to have this baby for somebody else. You don't think you're going to be having to give yourself shots in your stomach or your back or your butt or wherever it is, two shots a day
for so long, even after you're pregnant. Because I don't know about you, but my morning sickness with both of my journeys was terrible. And then you're like compounding it by adding more hormones on top of the pregnancy hormones.
Did you get morning sickness too, or sickness?
I did not. I've never had morning sickness, so I've been very grateful that I haven't. I would get car sick, nauseous in the car.
Interesting.
But they have stuff for that too nowadays.
Yeah. I'm actually blown away right now. And you guys haven't even gotten pregnant yet. This is just getting there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so once you've done all of that, I want to know details. Like, so someone's with you when you're getting
the transfer.
Transfer. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My agency, I had to have somebody with me because, well, first I was flying, and then you're having a medical procedure.
Oh yeah.
And then you're gonna go back to a hotel room and you're gonna be by yourself.
Right.
No, like what if something happens? You have a reaction.
Yeah, you never know.
So my mother-in-law went with me because Sean was gone and taking care of the kids and all that stuff. So my mother-in-law volunteered to go with me to be my support person.
Wasn't she with both?
No, just the last one.
Okay.
My best friend was with me the first
time. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Yes. So we flew out there. Got set up in our hotel and all that good stuff. And then you have a certain time you got to be at the doctor's office and make sure you take these medications, to prepare for the transfer. And you get there. My intended parents were there for this last one.
Okay.
And you get your little robe and slippers and hair up and everything.
Are you in an operating room or no?
I mean, it kind of looks
like
one.
Okay. No, it's
It's very medical.
Yes.
Very sterile and all that stuff, because working with some delicate materials.
Yes.
And
not in a hospital, or is it a hospital?
No, it was
okay.
It was an IV clinic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But they're all very board certified and all.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Hopped up on the table with the stirrups.
The
big old machine, ultrasound, and all the things. And
they even have a screen, a TV, so you can watch what they're doing in there.
Really?
And they don't even.
Insides.
They don't even bring the embryo in until
like
it's moments to put in. They're like, "All right, we're ready," and then they'll bring it in, and you and the intended parents, prior to all this, will decide if you're gonna. They want one or two or three.
That's
3 embryos could cause 3 babies.
It could.
Okay. Oh.
They could each split.
But it's really something that needs to be discussed before, obviously, before you sign the contracts, because you've got lawyers and legal and a lot of more going on. So during that, you figure all that out. If you're willing to carry multiples, obviously they'll put more than one in, but sometimes there's people they're like, no, we want one baby and we want to make sure there's just one baby. So we're going to just do one embryo. Or some couples only have one embryo to try. So I know a couple that said, no, we have 2 embryos, but we're going to do one at a time because if
one doesn't take,
we have another option.
Gotcha.
So that is, but they'll call and bring the embryo in, and then they insert it in you. And
how do they insert it?
You're on bed rest.
It looked like a straw. Like a really long straw.
Tiny little. They flushed it in with water.
The nurse had the ultrasound, and she pushed a little too hard for my liking, but whatever. And we insert, and the intended parents are back behind here just watching it on the screen, or mine were. And it literally looks like a straw. And then he has his little dish. I didn't see anything. Like he knew what he was looking at. It's clear.
Yeah. He's like, it's all clear. Everything is where it needs to be.
It looked like a
turkey baster.
Yeah, exactly. And he's watching the screen, and I'm like,
You see nothing, but he sees
I
it all.
see nothing.
Mhm.
He's like, okay, right here. I'm like, that's cool. Like he would draw on the screen for me. He'll see this circle. Okay, I see this circle. What's right there? I'm
Great.
so glad you see it.
So, do you know right then and there if it takes or not?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, there's the 2 week window.
Oh, okay.
Longest 2 weeks of my life.
Do you know? Can you tell right away
They
when you're
will
pregnant or
put
not?
you on bed rest, like
Oh,
well,
okay.
depending on the agency, like she said, and the situation. They want you to limit your everything for the
Mhm.
first
Everything.
3 days.
Yes.
For the first
Your
3
Okay.
days,
everything. Yeah.
you kind of put your life on pause. Is
Mhm.
how I would explain it. I was put in a hotel for 3 days with whomever she, like
Yes,
she said,
whoever
whomever
your
you
Yeah.
choose,
person is.
and you're just sitting back, whether it's at the
Literally
pool,
doing
in the bed, or
anything.
reading books or watching TV, and
Just hoping and praying that baby's taking
Yeah.
it, huh?
and then after you return back to reality,
Mhm.
you wait the rest of your
Yep.
2 weeks,
And
and then
still,
you'll do a
my
blood
doctor
draw.
wanted you to
Mm.
take it easy.
Yes.
Oh, okay, doc, I got 3 kids. Sure, take it easy. But you really do. And then, like in my mind, maybe everybody else's, you're like being even extra.
Yes.
I bet.
Because
I
you're
bet.
like, I don't want
It's
to let
not
these
for
people
you.
down.
Right.
I don't want to let them down.
Yes.
I don't want it. So you kind of even like extra
Put
cautious.
your feeding up. You're like, I'm not gonna lift nothing.
I
I
read all
can't.
the things. Thank you, Google. All the thing, like any one of those little wives' tales about, oh, well, he says don't eat this, blah blah blah
Yes.
blah blah. I tried all the things.
Yeah.
If it wasn't too crazy. Some
Yes.
of them sounded a little crazy. I don't want to do that. But
No.
like, I tried all the things.
Did you?
To make sure it
don't want to
happened.
get too
Yeah.
hot. Don't get too cold.
Right.
Though. All the things.
Oh.
Just to hope and hope. So
Oh,
my
absolutely.
doctor made me wait 7 days after the transfer for my first blood draw.
Okay.
Because they're checking your numbers.
Yes.
Yes.
Making sure they're
And
going up, right?
Yes.
First number is above a certain number. It looks good, but don't get your hopes up too just yet.
Yes.
And then
you got to go again.
go back in like 4 days. Again, every doctor is different.
Yeah.
And then you hope that number is double.
Right. Right. I remember that.
And
Okay.
then by like day like 10 or 14 or whatever, if you're at a certain number, that magic
Then we
number
know
is, then
it's
you're
taken.
pretty close, and you're almost positive, and then you gotta wait for the first heartbeat.
Oh.
You're just like, I was white knuckling, like I knew the baby was there, like I could feel my body being like, I gotta hear that heartbeat, and then I can breathe. Almost like it's your own baby.
Yes.
You want to hear that heartbeat, but you want it even more
For them.
Oh God, you guys,
they're
I love
just,
it.
That's
Oh, they're probably scared to death this entire
holding
time.
their world.
Yes.
So like, as soon as like that heartbeat, I was like, oh, okay.
Yes. Now, did yours take every time?
Both transfers for both families
Work.
first time.
Okay, and what about you?
The first time, yes. And then I had the second time around, I had a little guy, and then the parents asked for a sibling. So we tried it again, and it didn't take. And then they didn't want to continue on. So you can get out of the contract because it didn't take. But the third time around, we had no problems. Everything took, and it was
amazing.
We got another little guy.
Oh, I had 2 boys.
I had twin girls, and then I had 2 boys.
That is so cool. Are the intended parents? Are they like? I know in her situation, they were all close.
Yes.
Were you in contact with them as well?
This last journey, not at all.
Oh wow.
I was a little surprised, but it's whatever the parents choose.
Well, they also didn't even speak English.
Can put in the contract that they want to have that relationship and be at every appointment, or and then they just don't have to have that. So it's really up to
interesting
the intended parents on what they want the relationship to be like.
Up to you also when you're making that connection at the beginning, like when you decide if you want to work with the intended.
Mhm.
That's it. It's not just them getting to pick you.
Right. You got to like
You gotta
them.
pick them
Yes.
too.
That's right. I can
So
imagine.
I told my agency, like, I don't want this to just be a business transaction. I don't want them to just check on me the day of the appointment and then, hey, I'll see you in a month. I no, you don't have to invite me over for Christmas, Thanksgiving, and everything, but like,
Right.
hey, maybe check on me.
Yeah, for sure.
Outside of the appointments, and hey, because I am carrying your kid.
Right.
Maybe see how I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got lucky with both of my journeys, and
You
I
really
still
were.
talk to them. My first surrogate baby just turned 4 yesterday, and I got all the pictures.
Oh, I
I
love
got
it.
the pictures from the night before of her setting up the house and
Oh.
showing me. And
So you are part of their family, truly.
yeah, like we talk, she sent Cole a graduation card, and she'll send me a text message for each of my kids' birthdays and my husband's.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just a text
that's
message, but at
awesome.
least she remembered the
Oh no,
birthday.
seriously, yeah.
And she took the time, and I do that with her and her kid, and because she had one before, she had secondary infertility. And so there's a 14-year age gap between her oldest and her youngest.
Wow.
Oh.
But like, so
No, ma'am.
I talked to her.
No, ma'am.
We talk like maybe twice a month because she's obviously busy. She's got a 4-year-old that's just busy in herself, and now she has a senior this year, so she's super busy. And
That's
she
a
knows
lot.
that
That's a lot.
I'm busy, so we talk twice a month. I'm like, hey, that's cool. Let's do that. And then the second parents, same thing. I wanted them to be as involved as they wanted to, but also maybe actually want to be involved, please. So when we picked each other, she'd never been pregnant before. She's like, I want to know absolutely everything that
I
you're
love
willing
that.
to tell me. And I was like, ooh, are you sure? Because I can get pretty graphic. And she's like, I want to know everything.
I bet. I would want to know
pictures of
everything.
me puking.
You
She's
did.
Like, this is what I'm doing today. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's okay. This is for you. You wanted to know.
This is part of it.
Literally, she got like all the details.
Oh, I
Whether
love
she
that.
shared that with her husband or not, I don't know. I was like, but you want to know what I'm going through? I'm gonna tell you all of it.
I love that.
So I did.
Yeah. Good. I'm sure she did want to know.
She
yeah.
did. She's because she didn't get to experience that ever.
Yes.
So she's like, please tell me all the things.
Oh, I love that. Your first family you did speak with, or nope?
Yes, the mom was not as involved, but she did want to know every time we had an appointment. She wanted to know what was going on and everything. They were a little further out, so it wasn't like she can come to the appointments, but they were more than welcome to whenever they wanted.
So cool.
And because this last couple was from out of the country, they have case managers, and the case manager would come and she would meet me there, and I would give her the pictures, or she could take videos, and she can send it all home to mom, so mom was able to see what was going on and everything. So
I love that. This is so much more than I ever thought.
I'm so thankful for technology, because both my parents are obviously East Coast and I'm over here. We were able to FaceTime during doctor's appointments, and luckily I got really awesome OBs that were super excited to work with me. Being a surrogate, but I was like, hey, is it okay if I FaceTime during the appointment with baby's mom?
Yeah, I mean, that only makes sense, honestly.
Because like the very first time going in there, like, hey mom, I was like, no.
Yeah, you have to explain.
I'm the surrogate. Mom is in, East Coast, and so please, Brenda.
I love that. So. My mom asked me that today. She's like, so do these women, is their babies? I said, no, mom. And I knew you, and I didn't hear as much about your stories. I had hers, and I said, no, they go in it from the beginning. Like, I'm carrying this baby for somebody else.
Yes.
She goes, they don't call it their baby. Like, I said, no.
No. First one, we knew because she had done all the genetic testing and everything ahead of time. So I already knew we were having a little boy.
Oh, okay.
When he was implanted, so we just called him little guy, dude, whatever, until she picked a name.
Yes.
She wanted to make sure he was going to stick around before she gave him a name, and then 12-ish weeks, she had picked his name. So then we started calling him by his name. And then the second couple, they didn't do the extra testing. They're like, we'll take whatever you give us.
Mm.
Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, each of my keepers, because that's what we called ours, our keepers,
Mm-hmm.
they had cute little nicknames
Names,
while
yeah.
they were
Yeah.
in my belly. So
Yes.
did you guys have one? And they were like, no, we didn't even think about that. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
They adorable. They, for some odd reason, were like super interested in Seth, not like a weird interest.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because he was younger and
Yes.
how does he feel and whatever. So they asked him, like, Seth, can you pick a name, a nickname for the baby? So pretty much my entire pregnancy for the last baby, it was Tater Tot.
Oh.
Windsor has a guinea pig named Tater Tot.
So we called him Tater Tot. Even after we found out it was a boy.
Yeah.
So they picked a name. It was just Tater Tot.
I love
And
it.
that's it.
Did you have a little name for your little munchkin in there?
No,
Mm-mm.
no.
Nope.
But we knew they did the genetic testing
Uh-huh.
also, so we knew it was a little guy.
That's what you call him, little
So,
guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Before we had a name, this is Miss Laura's baby.
Mhm.
This is Miss Laura's baby.
Yes.
This is Miss Rachel's baby.
Yeah.
It was never, our baby.
Right, right. I guess you have to be very careful about that, right? Because you don't want to become attached.
Correct.
I mean, that could really hurt
Yes.
Yes.
everybody.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So because my kids were younger for the first time, and then, Seth was 7, 8 for the last one.
Mhm.
One of those. He's still kind of youngish, so
Yeah.
we wanted to make sure we didn't confuse him at all, but he remembered for the last time. But we made it a big deal. This is Miss Laura's baby.
Yeah.
And his big thing was, can I talk to Miss Laura?
Mhm.
So I would reach out to her, and I was like, Seth would really like to talk to you. She was amazing. He can call me anytime he wants.
That's great.
He's 3 hours ahead, and if he wanted to call her, he can call me anytime he wants. He could FaceTime me if he wants to. And sometimes he goes, I just want to see if she's okay. Absolutely, kid. You wanna FaceTime her and ask if she's okay?
I love him. I know.
So they were all very open, wanting to know how my kids were feeling about it also, which I thought was wonderful, and I think it made it even better.
For sure.
A better experience for me, because they were just so involved in
it. Truly became a family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that.
It was pretty awesome.
But this is why I wanted to do 2 of you. You had said maybe we could do separate, and I was like, no, I really want to do 2 because I know the experiences are going to be very different.
Yes.
So your people didn't have that desire, but hers did. So I mean, I love that, and you were still fine with that, and you probably would have been fine too. But it's really nice that so it's almost like aunties and uncles now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I really do. I think this is interesting. I love that. Yes.
So then you go through the whole pregnancy. My first journey was during the ugly C word, so she couldn't come out for any of the appointments because she was so worried first off to get on the plane just to come here, and then she was worried, well, what if she brought something to me and then she got me sick while she's like, I can't risk that for you.
I get that. Yeah.
So she didn't get to come out at all during the entire thing until right before.
But you recorded. You did.
I recorded all the things.
Lovely. Yeah.
And we FaceTime during every appointment. So like she was there.
Yes.
No,
I love that you tried to include her in as much as you could.
Yes.
I think that's really special. Because if I couldn't have a baby and someone's doing it for me, I know I'm missing something.
Yes.
So for you to be able to tell her that's amazing.
Yes.
I love that.
She didn't get to come out, but for my second journey, they came out at the 20-week for the anatomy scan and all the things, and then even drove back up here because we were down at Loma Linda to actually physically meet the kids, because they had gotten to meet Sean earlier in the year, during transfer and all the medical stuff. But they're like, we really want to physically see your kids. We've seen pictures and we've seen them on FaceTime. I was like, actually, come on.
It must
over.
mean something to them. They must,
to make that okay, this is who you are. We know you, but these are the people that are in your life that get to share this with you. So they wanted to meet the kids. I was like, absolutely, come on over.
They wanted to be fully engrossed in the whole thing.
And
I think that's great.
Each of the kids gifts, which I thought was adorable. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, but even the thought.
Exactly. So that was really nice. So they were able to come for the 20-week, and then obviously they come Mine came to me for the births.
Mhm,
Obviously,
mhm,
I'm not about to fly to the
mhm,
East Coast at
mhm.
9 months pregnant. So
Did
they
yours come to
flew
you for the birth?
Yes.
Okay, both
Yes.
both
Yes.
families.
I
Okay.
should.
Now my other friend that I was telling you about that did I know she's done at least 3.
Mhm.
I think maybe more, but anyways, I said hers were in the UK, so she actually was flown to UK to have the kiddos there.
Oh wow.
But they got her an apartment. They had a
That-
driver
that
for her. I
must
mean,
have
she
been
was very well
something
taken
set up
care of.
ahead of time, 'cause that
Yes.
Oh yeah, it
that's
was.
not normal.
Yeah, no. She became very close with the dads. It was dads.
Yes.
Very close to the dads. And I mean, I just thought it was really nice. And they are actually I remember her telling me that they did like a life insurance kind of thing, or like
Yes.
if something happens to them,
Mhm.
she then gets the baby. She wanted the baby. She said,
Oh,
"I'll
wow.
take the
Ooh,
baby."
I did not
You did
agree to
not.
that.
Yeah, no,
I
she
do.
did. She
Mhm.
did. And she had them.
No.
She had multiple kiddos for this
Couple.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yes,
Mhm.
and they really did set her up. I mean, she
Yes.
was
Awesome.
well taken care of. Yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
she gave them something they could have
Yes, their
never
family.
had before.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, God, y'all are special people. Really, this is amazing. It is. I didn't realize all that went into
Oh,
it.
there's more though,
Keep going.
because there's the actual birth.
Mhm.
You had twins, so I guarantee you your birth was different than mine because I only popped out singles. For my first journey, my OB, because I was older, they need new words for this.
Yeah.
Because I was 39.
Mhm.
Yes, sounds good. Geriatric.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! What?
They knew, yeah, all over my chart.
Geriatric.
Geriatric. I was like, could we come up with something new? Because that's terrible.
That's not very
Because
nice.
once you reach, what, 35?
5. Yeah.
Geriatric now. So you're high risk just because of that age. I was
Just because of
like,
your
I was in
age.
better shape then
Now
when
than
Yeah.
I am.
the first one.
Interesting.
Ugh. Yeah, so
Geriatrics.
geriatrics.
Okay.
That was wonderful. But so my OB was like, I'm not going to let you go to 40. I was like, okay. Sure. Darn, one last week.
Yeah. Right.
So like they were like, okay, we're gonna set you up for an induction day. Cool. They actually let the intended mom pick the induction day because my 39th week was April Fool's, and she's like, I don't want a baby on April Fool's.
Yeah. Right.
I'm gonna show up when they tell me.
Yes.
So showed up bright and early on the 2nd.
Okay.
And I was not even a centimeter, so I was like, I'm not ready to have this baby. This is gonna
take a while.
I'm gonna be here for a little bit. 24 whole hours of just hanging out in the hospital and pumping you full of all the induction meds.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But everything was fine. All the things, everything was great, But you're trying to keep upbeat. Intended mom got to come. She was in the hospital room with me, and then my best friend went with me.
Did you mind her in the room with you?
Not at all.
No.
Again,
that is an option.
So many. Yes, it is an option. You don't have to let them in.
Were yours in the room?
No.
No. Okay.
They were next door.
I've heard that a lot.
And I had
next
my
door.
case manager is the one that was with me.
Really?
Yes.
I love that.
So she was like, I'm more than willing.
I was in the room with my best friend. And we, trying to keep my spirits up because I couldn't eat. Because you're due. So I'm saying, I flat out told him, I was like, I don't care if you guys eat, but you go to the parking lot. Yeah. And then you spray and you brush your teeth. I don't want to smell anything.
My mom ate El Pollo Loco in my room when I was 18 hours in labor with not eating. I was like, how dare you? It smelled right. I was like dying of hunger. Yeah. So yeah, good for you to tell them to eat.
I did. I was like, go to the parking lot.
Yeah.
So 24 hours. I was like, I'm so trying to sleep,
tired,
trying to.
They come in, they
so
much
work
work
though at the same time. So we actually were cracking jokes constantly, and I had all my kids here at St. Mary's, and the first baby at St. Mary's. So it's a teaching hospital. So I had lots of random nurses.
Oh yeah,
come in, students, and they're like, Mom. I was like, get on in here.
Yeah, right.
Come on in.
What do you want to see?
Exactly.
Because really, once you have your first kid, ain't nothing,
Basically.
And
I was like, you're not going to learn this from that first mom down the hall. So get on in here. What do you want to know?
Good for you. I love it.
Come on in. So I'm like, I'm going to help you too. Come on in here. So whole 24 hours, and my best friend and the intended mom went to the parking lot to have breakfast at like 7 in the morning, and I was like, go. In there, and then I'm like getting uncomfortable, and the nurse came in. She's like, you don't look. I was like, I don't feel Because I've been fine the whole time.
Yeah.
She's like, well, let's go ahead and check you.
Right.
So she had the doctor come in. She's like, ooh, do you want to call them and tell them to come back? I see his head. I was like, huh?
Ah, had you
what
had an
it was.
epidural or no?
Huh?
Did you have an epidural?
Yes. I did.
Okay, so that's why you didn't know his head was
Exactly.
crowned. Okay.
I was like, I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to call. They literally like threw the food and were like running through the hospital to get back to the room. And so again, everybody's
Yeah.
different how they do this. I did not want any skin to skin with the baby, just
Right.
in case.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's a good idea.
My mental health,
Mm-hmm.
just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole staff knew that. Obviously, my OB knew that. So mom is here helping me out with holding my hand and then all the things. So baby is born. They put towels down on me.
Okay.
Because the hospital here does delayed cord cutting.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so they plopped them down on me, and like I got one towel, one side because blood pressure on the other
IV and
side,
cuffs
all
and
the other things. So I've got the one towel because I know obviously nobody's gonna let them roll off.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird. So, yeah. So she's crying on my shoulder.
Oh yeah.
And just.
And you're like, I'm done.
I'm like, can I eat now?
Yeah, right. I bet.
So they got him all cleaned up and whatever the things they were doing. Obviously, I'm still busy, and she's still crying. So they get him all wrapped up and they hand him to her. And I'm like, well, you want to see him? I was like, well, yeah, I didn't do all this just not to see him. So I did get to see his face, and then they were gone because they went to go do skin to skin with her, and I was like, cool, food
and
give
sleep.
me
Food and sleep.
Just
Rest.
For the second journey, they were so cute. So they're a little bit older than me, so they were in their middle 40s.
She's a single mom, yes?
First one was single mom.
Okay.
Second one was couple.
Okay.
So she'd never been pregnant before, so she didn't really know like the ins and outs. No big deal. I tried to keep her. I was like, this is number 5 for me. So I've
done this a time or two.
Things, but she was very much like, go by the book. Well, the doctor said this. The doctor said this.
Yes.
So same thing. My doctor's like, oh, we're not going to let you get to 40 weeks. Cool, that's awesome. He was measuring vigor the entire time.
Yes.
Yours too.
I've heard that a lot with
surrogates.
Surrogate babies.
Interesting.
That they measure vigor. Cool. That's awesome. I'm doing a good job then. Like, oh, I'm not going to make it to 30. So then at like my 36-week appointment, I was already a centimeter. I was like, oh wow. I'm going to make it to 38. But the mom was very adamant. Well, the doctor said this. I was like, that's great. I'm telling you.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
She was very adamant. Well, they said this. Okay. So we finally get like 37 weeks, and I'm at 2 centimeters now. And I was like, do you want to see this baby born? Do you want to be here? Please get here. Yeah. Sooner rather than later. So luckily, they did show up. 2-3 days later, they had an Airbnb because they were going to stay for a while. And I'm supposed to go in for another appointment, and they're going to check me and all that stuff. I'm like, I'm having this baby this week. She's like, no, the doctor's. Because she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Tried to give
and you're a new mom.
So they don't
know. And I was like, but I'm trying to tell you, I'm not going that far. I had an appointment, just like my regular, because I was older. You go twice.
Geriatrics, ma'am.
Geriatric. You go twice a week toward the end. So I got up at like 5 o'clock. I was like, "Ooh, I'm having this baby today." Okay.
You felt it. You knew it.
Oh, I felt it because I didn't sleep for nothing. I was like, "I'm having this baby today." My mother-in-law, "You're in labor, aren't you?" I was like, "I think so."
Interesting.
I called them at 5:30 in the morning. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, make sure you have all your stuff ready, and I'll meet you at the hospital in a few hours. Like, what? I was like, oh, we're having this baby today. Her husband was still on the East Coast. I was like, you should call and get him on a plane soon.
Because you can't wait. I mean, the baby's coming. You can't wait. Sorry.
Exactly. And I was like, and this is baby number 5, so more than likely, it's not going to be all day. Yes. More than likely. So did my normal mom things because I still got kids at home. I dropped kids off at the dentist having contractions. My parents came and got them for me, and we drove down to the hospital. We stopped to get breakfast because I wasn't going to be hungry this time. And we got to the doctor's office, and I got out of the car, and my water broke. It's not as beautiful, and like,
Right.
it's gross.
Yeah.
And I was
Mine
like,
broke
cool,
too.
I
Yeah.
was right. I'm having this baby today. I went to my normal doctor's appointment, and the girl checking me in, she was really cute, cute little young thing. She's like, "How are you doing?" And I was like, "Good. My water broke in the parking lot," and she's freaking out. I was like, "Sweetie, sign me in. I have things to do."
Right.
I'm trying to keep calm because I know mom and intended mom and her parents were coming because obviously hubby's on a plane, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't want her to freak out because I've already done this.
Yes.
A few times.
Experience.
I didn't want her freaking out, so I'm just trying to be calm. I get into my doctor, and she's like, "So I heard your water broke in the parking lot." I was like, "Yeah." Yep. She's like, "Why are you here?" I wasn't gonna get charged a no-show fee.
Oh.
So I'm here, and she's like, "Okay, let's just check real quick." So she checked. She's like, "Okay, can you go next door, please,
to the hospital?"
Yes. I was like, "Absolutely." She's like, "Thanks." Like, I don't know if I just made her day or what.
Was she your delivering doctor?
Nope.
Okay.
No. I don't know that I saw my delivering doctor.
I hear that so often. Yeah.
Oh, met with mom, and she was still freaking out, even though I was just as calm as could be, trying to crack jokes. Her mom was okay because obviously
she's done it before.
She's done it before, and she saw that I was calm, so she was type A. And she's like, "But we still have 2.5 more weeks." I told you. Let's go next door. Let's go get checked in. Checked in, and I'm trying to stay calm for her and myself too.
Yes,
I'm not trying to work myself up either.
Right.
And luckily, he was able to get a flight, and they flew him into LAX. He Ubered the 2.5 hours from LAX to Loma Linda, relaxing and calm in my bed. And the nurse was, I had sat up because my back was getting uncomfortable, and I sat up and I puked. And she's like, "You know what? Let me check."
Yeah.
She's like, "'Cause you know you can puke a baby out." I was like,
"Oh gosh."
Didn't know that, but okay. And she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, you need to call him." So mother-in-law called because they were down in the cafeteria because he had just got there and he was hungry. I was like, "I don't want to hear it." So they again running through the hospital, and they got in the room, and the doctor walked in right behind him, and she's like, "Let's have this baby." So he literally was putting down his suitcase, and I was like, "Hey, you want
catching the baby?"
And they were very cute because he was like, "I just wasn't trying to look." I was like, "Dude, I don't even care."
Yeah, right.
You're in the room. I do not care.
Yeah.
It's not my baby. I don't look.
No.
They were so like, they wanted to, and my mother-in-law just grabbed her hand. She's like, "This is yours." Like they popped him out because they do delayed cord cutting too. And they're just like, "Holy cow!" He was like, "You just had a baby."
Oh.
And he's yours. And you're taking him home.
Tag your in.
Yeah, right. I'm done.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they like took him over and cleaned him up, and I was like, we're done.
Time to rest.
Yes. So they had their own room. They went and did their thing. I got all the food. They're like, "Here's your menu." I was like, "I'll take all of it." I just wanted to eat and just got to hang out, sleep. Because normally after you have a baby, they give it to you. And freaked out. I got to sleep.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about your experience?
It was
That's different.
It was a C-section.
Okay.
We had there were both great sizes, over 4 pounds each. One was head down, ready to go, and the other one was not. So they said I had 2 options. They can go to have a birth and still possibly have to have a C-section if the baby doesn't flip. So we talked and decided just one C-section and get them both.
Yeah, let's not play games here. Yeah.
And so that's what we did. Mom was there, ready for everything. Super excited that they were both same sex because she didn't have to do one pink, one blue. Everything was pink and purple. Nursery was ready. She was there. As soon as I had them, I, like she said, went to my room to rest, and mommy took over, and I
Imagine twins.
They went to the NICU because they just wanted to watch
Mhm.
them. Twins, they tend to do that.
Yeah.
So when I was up and ready to walk, I walked to the NICU to go visit them. I have pictures of holding both of them.
Aw.
They were beautiful. They looked like porcelain dolls. You could tell they were not mine. They looked just like mommy. And I get a Christmas card every now and again,
I love
a
it.
thank you.
Yeah.
And that was the first. The second.
When did you do the first? How many years? How old are the
Um,
kiddos? What?
I want to say they're about 13
Okay.
now. It's
It's
quite
been a
some
minute.
time. Yeah, they're teenage girls this year. And then I had the little guy, and the parents the same thing. I had the baby. The parents went, and they have a private room for them.
Yeah.
They'll stay in there with the baby, and they can come by and visit if they choose to. And they tend to. They'll bring the baby by. You do have to remind the doctor sometimes. They'll come in and look at you and like, where's your baby?
Oh.
And so some hospitals will mark the room,
Okay.
and some won't. So this past time, the doctor walked in and thought I was crazy, like, where's your baby? And I had to like remind them, oh, okay, so we're gonna send the doctor in.
That delivers also, then maybe they're the filler in
Yes,
here.
so they don't
And
know.
Okay.
And so you just have to let them know he's down the hall or
With
whatever.
mommy and daddy or
And
whoever.
yeah. And this last time he got to go home before I did. They kept me an extra day so I can just rest and relax.
That's nice.
And
Yeah.
recover. And then he came by and they brought flowers and gifts and thanked us, and he went home. So it's just every experience is going to be different.
Oh, yeah.
It's like your own children. Every delivery is going to be
Oh,
different.
yes. Absolutely.
My first journey, he was born at 8:30 and I was home by 4 o'clock, same day.
Crazy.
Wow.
Because the doctor, I was like, I feel great. And they're like, well, you have to be here at least 8 hours. Timer. Like, you have to get up and walk, go to the bathroom at least once. I was like, let's get these things done. I want to go home. I want to see my babies. And they let me. The other hospitals like, you have to stay 24 hours.
Yeah.
Brenda is so cute. So, I guess all in all, I know you probably got to go soon. All in all, if you could do it again, would you?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If I was younger,
Yeah.
I would totally do it. Like, I was just talking to my first journey. I was talking to his mom on his birthday, and I was like, man, I wish I was younger. I'd have done this again. And she was like, I wish I was younger. I'd ask you to do it again.
Not the case in either. Yeah.
Yeah. I think over this whole conversation and everything, if you think you're even a little interested in it, do your homework.
Yeah.
Do your homework.
For
Look
sure.
into it. Because you don't know how many people cannot have children, no matter what they've tried. They've done everything, and even trying with other surrogates that just didn't work. The embryos didn't take. The devastation of them trying and trying and trying. You don't know who you can help.
Right.
Because we asked our intended parents, both sets, because like I signed up, I got approved, all the things, and I was matched within a month. But I asked them, like, how long were you looking? Both of them said anywhere from 18 months to 2 years. They were looking for a surrogate. I got matched within weeks.
What are they trying to match? What is it they're looking for?
They have to have a willing person. You know,
Well,
you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
go
you
to
need
the
a
yes.
surrogate.
They don't
qualifies.
have, and a lot of people will try and they don't qualify for whatever reason. You could be
There's
multiple,
so
because they
reasons.
go through your life with a fine tooth comb to make sure you're healthy and you're going to have a success. And you can get to the last portion of it and then something just not work out. And they have to start all over again.
That's gotta be torturous.
It could be one tiny little blip that in normal life, you trying to have your own baby,
nothing.
But they're looking at, they're like, ooh.
Interesting.
So 18 months to 2 years for both of my journeys that they were
That's
waiting
crazy.
for a qualifying surrogate, and I was like, wow.
Yes.
I just thought I was just there already.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were saying if you have interest or any desire or
Just
thought,
follow your heart, and the couple will come to you, and it'll just work out.
Mhm.
It'll work out.
God
Even if you
knows.
just don't think you can.
Right?
And like I said, it's not just helping them, you're helping you
Yes.
financially. Like
Yeah.
things, it works both ways.
Absolutely.
And not everybody's doing it for the financial gain, but some people
Oh, I'm
need
sure.
it.
Oh, yes.
And
Absolutely.
especially nowadays, the way the economy is and everything.
Yep.
So just look into it,
Mhm.
try it,
Mhm.
and then the worst they could say is
No.
it doesn't work
Yeah.
out or no.
Yeah.
But at least you know
tried.
you
Mhm.
tried.
I love that.
Yeah.
You would do it again. You liked the experience was good. You had a good
Yes.
experience.
Both my journeys were just amazing.
I love it.
And
I really do.
have 2 extra families.
Right? Which
that
is so beautiful.
I have cool places to stay if I want to go East Coast now.
Yeah.
Because they're always like, oh, anytime you're over here,
I
just
love
let us
it.
know. You can come stay with us. Cool.
I love it.
So we have extra family, and why not?
Oh my gosh, right?
It's
You
fun.
can't have enough family, in my opinion. You know?
Yeah.
You guys are amazing. Truly. I mean, I appreciate you doing this for me. I know it's not for me, it's for whoever's going to see this, but I just love your honesty, you know. When you came home, I just have like maybe one more question. When you were done, when you had the baby, when you're home, did you have like postpartum? Did your milk come? Like, how do you feel when your milk comes in? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, there are those things still.
Those are things people don't talk about.
Right.
And that is something the parents have the option to ask you if you would provide milk for them.
Oh.
And with my second journey, I would have they wanted to, and you will get compensated for that. They wanted to. They had a cooler at my house every day at this time, and I would have to pump and freeze. I fill up their cooler once a week, and they would ship it to them. And it's something that I didn't think they would want. So this last journey, very far in advance, I asked, is this something they would be interested in? I would like to prepare my mindset because yes, you've had your baby, but it is a whole nother job.
It is.
You still have to go to every 2 hours or every 3 hours. You're waking up in the middle of the night when there is no baby there to pump for them. And they said no, and I was very grateful. But when the milk comes in, you're still got to prepare to dry it up. Yes.
And then there's no baby
to help you soothe. Yes.
So you're
taking hot showers, freezing cabbage, putting it on you, whatever. Yeah.
Really.
And some doctors will give it to you, and some doctors won't. So that was a yes, that was something that I didn't intend to think of. And it was a very painful process.
Oh, I can imagine because I had my own kids, and I remember when my milk came in, and God, when it was drying up, it was horrifying. Did either of you have postpartum?
I did
no.
That's
No,
amazing.
I did not.
Thank God.
Yes. A supportive spouse for me, and super supportive kids, and just my village being super supportive. I think that's what helped me the most because I was so busy. I didn't have time.
Yes.
Yes. How many days after you had your
the first one
did you go to Universal Studios?
It was 5 days.
It wasn't the best choice, right?
There was a few rides I probably shouldn't have gone on because it like smacked my tummy, and I probably shouldn't have done that. I still had a really good time. I was a little extra tired at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I had one of them giant donuts, so I felt better. My second journey, I was reffing at my daughter and son's both soccer games at 9 days. There wasn't a ref that day, and I ref, so I was like, I'll do it.
Help them.
Yeah, I'm not that mom. I'd be like, no.
My kids wouldn't get to play, and like I'd give up it, and I was like, no, I got this. I was like, everybody be patient with me. I'm not running.
Yeah.
So if I don't get that call, don't yell at me. I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah.
And I think like it's with any pregnancy.
Mhm.
You
Yes,
just
each pregnancy
listen
is
to your body.
Oh, yeah.
If you're too tired, don't do it.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
the doctor says don't do X, Y, and Z, then
Mhm.
just don't do it.
Mhm.
And that was this last journey. I was like, the doctor said I can't lift, I can't vacuum, I can't this, I can't that, and I didn't. I
Good.
sat there with my feet up on the
Good.
recliner, and till the doctor was like, all right, you're released, you can go back to your
Nice.
regular household, carrying your laundry up and down the
Girl,
stairs,
can you give me
or
another week or
whatever.
two, maybe, just perhaps, just for fun? Yeah.
And so it's just all goes back to listen to what your doctor
Yes.
says
Mhm.
and listen to your body.
Yeah.
If you feel exhausted, put your feet up.
Yeah.
If you feel great, then hey, go for that
Yeah.
car ride or that jog or whatever the case
Mhm.
is. So
And
I love it.
It's definitely a different healing
Mhm.
when you come home with that
Well,
baby
yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
than when you just come home. Because like you just have to take care of you or
Mhm.
your own children, obviously,
Mhm.
but there's no baby, so you can sleep,
Yeah. Which is
which
very
was
different. Yeah.
which was very different. My first journey, I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to get up every couple hours.
Isn't that a
Oh,
good
yeah.
feeling?
And you sleep better once you have the baby, because
Oh,
once
yeah.
you're 9 months pregnant, let's be honest,
Oh.
you can really
You're
sleep.
miserable.
You're no
Yes.
matter how many pillows you get
Oh, yes.
or massages, you're just tired.
Miserable.
So once you have the baby, it is a relief. You get
Oh,
to
yeah.
rest. You really do.
turn.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it is definitely a different healing afterwards. 'Cause it's just you.
Yeah.
You can
It's a different. It's a
you
whole
can
different journey.
concentrate on
Yes.
You and your kids being older, obviously.
Yes.
You didn't have to do, and mine were a little bit older, so a little bit more self-sufficient.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
no, I didn't have to get up that early to help with breakfast because Bigger took care of Little for me.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Right. Right.
And I could get that few extra minutes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
that support system was
Oh, I love it.
Wonderful.
I know that Monica needs to get cracking,
Yeah.
and I appreciate your time, truly.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate your
Absolutely.
time, your honesty, you guys, and
Absolutely.
let's hope that somebody hears this and they're like, "I'm doing it."
Yes.
You know,
Or
let's
more
hope.
questions.
Yeah.
If you get lots of more questions, or
Mhm.
hey, I
We
have
can
more
come
questions,
back.
we
Oh
can come
yeah.
back.
And I
Yes.
We
listen.
will do a follow up if you need. Again, I love
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah.
Because the I don't know, the love,
The joy you get
my
from
heart
it.
felt bigger
Yeah.
kind
Yes.
of thing because I got to help these people that otherwise couldn't
Would
have
not be
what
able
we
to
have
have.
because we have kids, so we
Yeah.
get to
Yes.
experience all the things, good,
Oh
bad,
yeah.
all the things.
Oh yeah. And it's all the things.
All the things.
Yes.
So now they get to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not?
And this is to make people aware too.
Mhm.
Some people don't realize that they can do it.
Right. Right.
They might
So
think they're
this
too
might
old.
open their
Mhm.
eyes.
Yes.
Not.
Oh, tell me the age
And-
group.
Oh yes. Well,
It kind of varies.
Okay.
Different agencies have some different
Requirements.
Mhm.
stipulations, like you can't be over this certain age. My
Round-
agency will take you up to 42 unless you've done it before.
Okay.
Then you're experienced, and they'll kind of waive that age
Mhm.
limit.
Mhm.
But my agency will go all the way up to 42.
I've
Okay.
seen mid 40s.
Really?
So different
Well,
agencies
I had my
have
last
different.
one at 42.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yes.
42.
I
Interesting.
turned 42 and then had him. So obviously I'm at the top of the age group,
Yeah.
but I had already had one before.
Right.
So they're
Yes.
like, oh, whatever. And my OB was like, you look great. Go
Oh.
ahead.
Yes.
Go for it. Yes. Because you got to
Awesome.
get that check off from the OB.
But you
first.
do, you do have to go through all the physicalness,
Yes,
and they
yes,
need to
but
make
they're
sure
like, you
you're
look just
good.
fine. Go ahead. So
Yeah.
I was at the top of the age range.
Yeah.
But I was in better shape
Yes.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
than I was with my first kid in my 20s.
yes.
Yeah.
Because you take better care of yourself.
I think so.
When you're
It
older.
makes sense because
Yes.
you're doing it for somebody
Doing
else.
the surrogacy, like I worked out more. I watched my because I was like, I'm gonna give them this perfect little baby.
A healthy
And you did
baby.
too, right? You did
Yes.
the same thing.
Yes.
I was,
You guys
you
are-
saw me.
Oh
I
yeah.
would get up.
I got to
and
make
go
my
walk
steps.
around,
Yeah. She had to get her
getting my
steps in.
trying to
Mhm.
get my nails done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes, because I was like, I'm gonna give them this perfect baby. 'Cause
Amen.
They deserve
Yes.
this.
I love
I'm gonna
it.
give them this
100%.
baby.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, girls, God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Oh,